Hi, my name is Joseph Parker, WBO champion of the world, and you're watching Sporting Icons.
Okay, so I've just watched a very brief interview with Ben Shalom. That was on Sky Sports, and I'll put a link to it in the description box as per the source, as always. Now, don't go over there just yet. Hold your horses, wait for this video to finish, then go give it a watch and peruse until your heart is content. Now, within this interview with Ben Shalom, a few things were discussed, but mainly the subject of Joseph Parker. So we're going to talk about the options that Ben Shalom is presenting to Joseph Parker. Now, firstly, and I think most people will concur wholeheartedly with Ben Shalom, where he says boxing promoters need to start working together. Promotional issues and network differences and whatever else should not get in the way of making fights. And he is absolutely correct by that. Of course he is. For far too long, we haven't seen Eddie Hearn and Frank Warren put on a show together. We haven't seen it. Eddie Hearn and the PBC, we don't see it. Why? Because there seems to be, I don't know whether it's personal issues, I don't know what it is, but fights are not getting made. Ben Shalom saying, let's get fights made. We can work things out. He's absolutely correct. But of course, maybe now, because he poached Joseph Parker, now he's got him under contract when Joseph Parker had agreed on a handshake with Frank Warren and Queensberry about getting the Joe Joyce fight. Joseph Parker turned away from that, went over to Sky Sports and Boxer. But Ben Shalom has said they have made an offer to Queensberry for Joe Joyce of £1.2 million. Now, I would imagine that would be a career high payday for Joe Joyce, right? Quite what the response to that is from Queensberry, Joe Joyce, Frank Warren, I have no idea. No idea. I can only presume not too good, going by what it is I see and hear online. Okay. Now, is that down to because they're bitter about Joseph Parker? Maybe. Or is it just that they don't want Joe Joyce fighting on Sky Sports? Could be that one too. It could be. Now, with that said, Joseph Parker and Joe Joyce, could that fight still happen? Well, hopefully that'd be great. If not, Ben Shalom is looking at other alternatives, such as a Otto Wallin, such as a rematch with Dillian White, such as Deontay Wilder. Now, I would love to see any of those fights, to be honest with you. I really would. But, of course, the Deontay Wilder and Joseph Parker fight, that's a fight that I wanted to see a few years ago when Joseph Parker was WBO World Heavyweight Champion. I wanted to see that fight. We didn't get to see it for whatever reason, but I wanted to see it because Deontay Wilder was saying how he wants to fight Anthony Joshua and all this kind of stuff. 50-50 split, even though he hadn't fought anybody, his resume was complete garbage, and he only had one belt while Joshua was already unified. Unfortunately, these are the kind of things that make or break certain fights getting made. So I wanted Wilder to fight Joseph Parker, and if he defeated Joseph Parker, get that WBO strap and say, listen, I've got 2 belts, you've got 2 belts, no reason why it can't be a 50-50 split. Even though you, of course, are the cash cow and all that kind of stuff, but as far as belts are concerned, let's do 50-50. But that fight never happened with Wilder and Parker. Joshua ended up fighting Parker himself and thus getting the WBO and extended his unified belts for the WBO, so having 3 of the main 4 sanctioning body belts. Now, is Joseph Parker the kind of fight that Deontay Wilder would come back for? Would that be his first fight back? I mean, based on Wilder's record, you probably have to say no. He's probably going to fight somebody who we don't really want him to see him fight. But you know what? He has come off 2 back-to-back knockout defeats. Can we blame him on this occasion? No. So to go fight your scrub and then go fight a Joseph Parker, for example. Why not? Why not? But if he does come back and his first fight is Joseph Parker, fantastic. Now, one good thing about this, with this particular fight, for example, with the fact that Joseph Parker is with Boxer and Sky Sports, is that Eddie Hearn is not involved. So the PBC and Wilder probably more likely to be open to this kind of fight. And of course, he didn't have that undefeated record to defend anymore, to protect. Maybe he's quite willing to fight a Parker. I mean, what other kind of options does he really have out there? I mean, I'm sure he's got a few, but Wilder has stated time and time again, he will not fight on a Matchroom show. He will not work with Eddie Hearn. Now Parker's not with Eddie Hearn, he's with Ben Shalom. Maybe we can see that fight. Maybe. We'll have to wait and see. But where would that fight take place? Would it take place in the UK? Or would it take place in America? I mean, There's no reason for either or, really. But I think that if this fight was to be made, I would imagine Parker would probably have to travel to the United States of America. So, of course, they have this particular fight on Sky Sports at, say, 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, but regular US time on Showtime or however else. I don't think Wilder is willing to come to the UK. Yes, he's been here before when he fought Audie Harrison. Well, who wouldn't, right? Okay, that was going to be an easy victory for Wilder. But is he likely to come to the UK to fight Joseph Parker? Unlikely. But listen, I'd love to be wrong on all this. I would love to be wrong. I really would. But it's more likely that Joseph Parker will probably have to travel to the United States of America. So if they can't get that Joe Joyce fight over the line, looks like Wilder might get a little offer. We'll have to wait and see. Drop your thoughts below, click thumbs up, subscribe. Catch you on the next video.